Hi, everybody. I am your host, Mike Downer, and this is the Iowa Conversation brought to you by Celebrate Life of Iowa. Today, I am joined once again by Rick Ramsey, licensed funeral director at Celebrate Life Iowa. How are we doing today, Rick?
Doing well. Thanks, Mike.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So, today's a big question a lot of people have is they've made the decision to be cremated, and now you just want to know what to do with the cremated remains. So today we're going to be discussing what are the legal and meaningful options for cremated remains, and how do Iowa families honor their loved one's legacy after cremation. So where can families legally scattered cremated remains in Iowa?
Mike, they've got all kinds of options here within the state. They may go to the waterways. They may go to private ground, and scattering the cremains isn't the only option that's going to be available to the families. I do want to interject here just before we get started with all the different options. I think it's very important to remember that once you have been cremated and you're thinking, hey, my children or my spouse who will take care of my cremains. The challenge that sometimes families run into is that's fine for that first 5 or 10 years, but you need to have a plan in place for the next 20 or 30 years, because maybe your great grandchildren are gonna end up with your cremains. And if somebody hasn't made that decision as far as what's the final disposition for your cremains, they may end up at a point where they're not quite sure what to do with them.
Right. And that's kind of what, because I'll be real honest with you. If I had my great great grandpa's remains here right now, I never met the dude.
Yeah.
I never met my great grandpa. And I'm not trying to be mean. They would mean something to me, but not enough to where I want to keep them in my house. So that's kind of what we're going through today and figuring this out. So, what should families know about scattering ashes on Iowa's waterways, public land, and private property?
Private property, you're never going to run into any issues or concerns
Okay.
as far as waterways. They're the same. If you're in a park, you can certainly check in with the park rules and regulations and see what their requirements are. I don't think you're ever going to run into any concerns or issues on the legality side. But if you're scattering in the park, there's going to be all kinds of uh, different ways that you can check in. I would check in with the park service to see what their requirements are. That's with the scattering of the remains. There are certainly cemeteries here within the state that also have scattering gardens. They may have a plot within the cemetery that is designated for scattering remains.
Okay. I see. I learned something new today. Look at how smart you are. What are the options for placing an urn in a cemetery columbarium?
You've got the option as far as a columbarium, meaning that you're going into the wall, such as a wall niche, or you've also got the option of interring in the ground. Now, some of the cemeteries you're able to inter that urn in a plot that's going to be specifically sized for that urn, or there's some cemeteries that will allow you to put that urn maybe with your loved one that's already been buried in a full size space. So you've got different options as far as the interment of the urn, either in the ground, in a wall columbarium, or in a full size plot with someone that's already been buried.
Okay. That's quite a wide range of options. And what types of urns, like when we're talking about the urns, what types of urns can families choose for keeping cremated remains at home? Well, what are the best options? And maybe some of the I'm sure that there's several, and maybe you could kind of walk us through all the different types of urns.
Yeah, you're probably going to want to select an urn to put your loved one's cremains in that match their personalities. Let's say it was for your father and he was an outdoorsman, hunter, fisherman type, then we probably are going to go with maybe an oak urn that I'm looking at one directly in front of me that has a couple of ducks flying out into the horizon. And if it was for your mom, maybe you're going to go with a decorated white porcelain urn that's going to be a little bit taller and a little bit more on the feminine side.
No, that makes sense. Ryan and I had this discussion. I don't know if he told you about it, but so I've got a 1.75 liter bottle of Jack Daniels that Ryan said that he'd be more than happy to put me in, and then I'm collecting little airplane bottles of Jack Daniels. And so at my celebration life or whatever, we choose to do with it, like when you go to a birthday party and you get a little party gift, yeah, everybody's
Yes.
going to get a little Jack Daniels bottle of me as a parting gift when they leave.
Oh, Mike, I got to tell you, my wish is I'm going to have a traditional funeral service, and then
Okay.
I'll have cremation to follow, and then following the cremation, I'm going to give my cremains. They'll be entrusted to one of my children, and they're going to go out and they're going to dig a hole, and they're going to put those cremains in the hole, and then they're going to plant apple seeds. That way, when that apple tree grows up through my cremains, and people are eating apples, they're gonna have a little bit of me in
That is awesome.
them.
Especially if you put it like on a family piece of land, that'd be great.
Yep.
So grandpa, great grandpa's always with them. I love that. Actually, I like everything about that. Yeah, mine are going in Jack Daniels bottles. Mine's not as sweet.
But urns aren't the only options here. We also sell jewelry. I mean, you little as far as necklaces and bracelets that we're able to put cremains in that people are able to wear, 24/7 and keep mom or dad or a loved one close.
Yeah. What about charms? Because like my wife's got a Pandora thing. Can you do that too?
You bet. We've got all kinds of charms here, all kinds of options. And that doesn't mean that you have to select jewelry that's here. You can certainly bring in, as you said with your Jack Daniels bottle, bring in any type of container, and we're more than welcome to transfer those cremains into any type of container.
Beautiful. I love the options. I love the options. I love the open mindedness. I love, and I don't mean to use this word, but I've said this to Ryan, and he goes, "You're not wrong." I love the fact that you can turn something that's grief stricken into something a little bit of fun, a little enlightening.
No, I agree, and one of the things that's really so nice is you can bring in something that as far as putting a monetary number on it, has absolutely no monetary value, but complete keepsake memorial, to you. Or you could choose an option all the way up to $10,000 or $15,000 and have your loved one's cremains made into a diamond.
Yeah, I love the options. I love the options, and like I said, I like turning you know something grief stricken into something enlightening and positive.
And I
So
think I think it's also important to remember here, those cremains can be divided up, three or four, as many ways as far as however many family members would like a portion of the cremains. And they don't all have to go into an urn. They can be divided up into four or five, separate holding pieces.
absolutely, absolutely. So how can families create a memorial garden or living tribute using created remains,
Oh, they can,
other
oh, they,
than planting an apple tree, which I
yeah,
love?
that I the as far as on their own private land, they are not governed by any Iowa law or regulations,
Right.
restrictions whatsoever. Um, Again, you may want to, as far as the apple tree, I mean, you can go out and place those cremains. You can scatter them, you can bury them. Some of the cemeteries do have regulations as far as if you're going to bury your cremains, they need to go, not the urn needs to go inside of the vault. And that vault for the urn isn't necessarily to protect the urn, it's more of making sure that the ground around that urn isn't going to fall in. But if you're on your own private land, as far as starting your own memorial garden, you're only bound by your own creativity.
Perfect. So we touched on this just a little bit, but and I just want to know, are you able to help um with turning remains into a memorial diamond like you were talking about, or a wearable keepsake? Do you guys Are you able to help with that path, and do you guys do that there?
We certainly do. As far as turning cremains into a diamond, now we would need to send those off. There's a company that is gonna would give us a price quote on how long it would take and what that price is going to be, and then we would just send those off. As far as the charms and the jewelry and the necklaces, we've got bracelets, we've got necklaces, and they all have a charm that allows us to place a small amount of cremains in.
Perfect. Yeah. So that's a big deal, because if you're going to take and turn your loved one into a diamond, which I think that's just the coolest idea, um, the fact that you're able to help orchestrate that, or basically orchestrate it for them, is just a big relief, so that they don't have to try and figure it out themselves.
Yeah, the diamond package, you know, looking at somewhere between $2,500 and $10,000. Where the flip side of that is, if you're looking at jewelry, say bracelets and charms and necklaces, all of our necklaces and bracelets start at $59, so very affordable.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's incredible. And again, I like the fact that you're able to orchestrate everything from a $59 option all the way up to a $59,000 option. I mean,
Correct. Yep,
like
you
with
bet.
me turning me into a diamond, kind of a fat guy, it's probably going to cost more than 10 grand. I mean, I'm a big dude, but my wife would have a big diamond. So, so I like to make fun of myself a little bit. And again, you got to take the lighter side of things every now and then. So we can wind this up here a little bit. You've been very informative on what to do and what not to do with cremated remains. Can cremated remains be divided among multiple family members in Iowa?
You bet. As many family members, as far as everyone's in agreement, we can divide those cremains up to in as many portions as we need to. And we're more than happy to do that. And if you had the cremation here, or whether you didn't have the cremation here, however Celebrate Life can help out, we're willing to help out.
So if I'm a family right now, you brought up another question, and I know that this isn't one that's kind of on our list of things to discuss today, but I'm going to bring it up anyway, because you brought up a topic that a lot of people probably would like to know. So say that you're the guy or gal, or and you've got the box with the baggie in it, and you've just never known what to do. You're sitting here watching this, and you go, they can help with what I already have. So you're saying that you could help someone with cremains that they have been currently holding and not knowing what to do with.
Oh, you bet. If someone out there has inherited a set of cremains and they're just not quite sure what to do, what their options are, the fact that we didn't do the actual cremation here at Celebrate Life makes no difference. No charge. Just if you want to come in, sit down, see what your options are, see what the best fit is for you, whether it's transferring cremains into an urn or just helping you set up interment of the cremains, or even scattering them. Come on in. My name's Rick. Be more than happy to sit down with you and discuss options.
Rick, you guys are amazing. I love everything that you guys do. I like the fact that your name says it all. Celebrate Life Iowa. It is a very difficult time in people's life, and I like the fact that from talking to Ryan quite a bit, and quite a bit with you now, that you guys try and make it a easier transition process for the family. And I just love that. You guys are amazing, and I encourage everyone to give these guys a call. Get it pre-planned. One thing off your bucket list. I mean, that's just a nice peace of mind. One less thing um, to weigh on your mind at night when you're going to sleep.
I agree, Mike. I agree completely.
All right. Well, Rick, it's been great, and I'm sure that we'll talk again soon. I know that Ryan's going to be chomping at the bit to get his pretty little face up there again too. So maybe sometime we'll have to do one with you guys together, and let you guys both talk at the same time. I think that'd be kind of fun too.
I agree. Mike, thank you for all your help. I look forward to speaking with you again.
All right, thanks a lot, and we'll talk soon.